tracking trips from Past the Wire and the Pick Six King, John Stetton. As your handicapping partner, John is your second set of eyes on the past performances, replays, numbers, trips, and more, helping you find the angles and plays others miss. Each week you get expert analysis, smarter ways to press your opinions, and the keys to cashing bigger tickets. Tracking trips from Past the Wire. Give yourself an edge and partner with a pro. Get a second set of trained, experienced eyes. Join today. Membership has its benefits.
You're watching Past the Wire TV.
Well, hello everyone. We're here for another weekend. Last weekend at Churchill, we did not do so good there. We hit a couple exactas and stuff, but on with the pick five, no good. And some of our tries, no good. So we struck out that day, but there's always another day, and we are going to go up north a little bit. We're going to go up to New York. We're going to go up there and try our hand at that pick five. They have the New York State Stallion Series. Those are usually pretty interesting. You get some high allowance type of horses that usually compete for a little bit more money than usual. And so it's going to make it very interesting. So basically, first of all, I want to thank Race Lens once again for another show and all the tools that we get to use and angles. And then anybody out there, do you want to have any questions with me, especially when it comes to even betting, how to play the bets are, how to buy horses, breed them, claim them, anything about training, you name it, shoot me an email to charles@pastthewire.com. Now, earlier today, Gio and John put out a video of how they structure their tickets. And there's two different ways. They're both different. For me, I'm kind of a little bit of each person's way they do it. I'll summarize what I'll do real quick. If I have a solid, pick, usually if I go to the track, I'm pretty disciplined, probably like John. Overall, I could go to a track and I could study 9, 10, 12 races, whatever. And I could sit there all day and just bet on one or two races. Now, with that being said, do I like to do it all the time? No. I will take my major part of my money that's set aside for my two, maybe only one hot bet. And I'll take a little money, what I call beer money. And I'll place, $5-10 win down here, or do a little exacta, or a little try, or a little pick three, and try to pick up some money. But when I have a single, I'm sort of like John. I do like to go for it. If I have a horse that I really, really like, single, I put them on top of an exacta. Now, the only time I'm different than John, I'm sort of like Gio when it comes to, depends on the odds of the other horses, okay? If my horse is a big favorite and my second choice is, let's just say 10-1, I'll put maybe 90% of my money on the exacta the way I think it's going to turn out, which is the favorite on top of the 7-1. And I'll take the other percentage of the money and I do it just the opposite way, just for more of a cover bet, because that's a pretty big odds. I normally will never do that unless the horses are my second place horse has to be 7-1 or higher for me to do that. If it's lower than 7-1, I'll go for it. I'm going for it all the way. Now, if I have four horses that I just think, man, these four horses are really tough, I can't make my pick here, and not one of them is the favorite, then I'm putting a trifecta all four box and I'm going for it, like that. If I have 4 horses and I really like, the top one is the favorite or the second one's the favorite, I'll put those 2 on top, and then I'll put usually, 3 or 4 horses in the second slot, and then hit the all button on the back end, trying to get a little bit of a piece of a price. That's what I'll do. And like I said, if I have a single, I'll do it and single it and pick 5s, pick 4s, pick 3s. Daily double, I'll key him up different ways. Race before him, take 2 or 3 horses to the single, and vice versa, single to 2 or 3 horses. So that's how I do it. If you watched their video earlier today, I'm kind of a mixture of both, but I probably would lean a little bit more on the way John does it a little bit more. But I have to admit, I do some plays just like Gio, and there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, like that. So now let's dive into Saturday's card at Aqueduct. And we're going to try to hit that pick 5 there on Saturday. I don't play pick 5s every day. That's another thing I don't do. I really do love win bets and exacta bets. Are my top 2 favorite things to do. So anyway, let's go and look at this race. We're going to start with, I believe it's the race number 7. Yep, it's race number 7. And here we go. It's 7 furlongs, 3-year-olds and up. We're going to look at that one horse here. Last time out, this horse broke okay, picked that up real quick, so it kind of rushed up a little bit, sat pretty close to the leader, and I think that rushing up kind of took a little bit out of her, excuse me, she's a mare. Because it broke out 7th, 5 lengths behind, and then all of a sudden 7th, 2 3/4 behind, and then 3rd at a length and a half behind. It might have taken a little bit out of her. She was going 6.5 that day. Then she dropped back just a little bit. Nothing bad, nothing to be shameful of, anything like that. The time before that, at 6 furlongs, she ran probably one of her perfect races that I could see, especially of late. She broke 5th. She sat real close, and then she just started gaining, and she got him at the wire. So, and plus she was claimed that day for 45. So I don't blame them for taking that horse the last time out, put her in a little stakes race. I don't think she ran bad at all. I think she ran a heck of a race. I do believe that she belongs with these type of horses. So this horse has got a lot of talent in my book. You talk about this trainer and jockey combo. Let's talk about that real quick. They're 31% in the win column, okay, when they ride together. They have a plus 19% ROI, return on your investments. That's pretty good. And of course, it's Franco. Franco, he's an excellent rider up there. He's always been really good up there. So this horse, in my opinion, has a little bit of a pace. I don't think this horse is super early type of horse. This is more of a pace horse. This horse is dangerous. Do I believe it's the top horse in this race? I don't think so. And I'm going to say no. Overall, I do believe I like this horse more. On the bottom side of my exotics, for sure, and the bottom side of trifectas. And maybe, maybe on a couple of tickets, maybe put her on the bottom of the exacta. But overall, that's where I think she will end up after this race is over with. The 2. And now this horse, another one. This one has some speed. Now this one, last time out, broke pretty good, pulled away from them. It was an allowance race. That's what you're supposed to do. The time before that, actually the 2 times before that, she was in the small stakes. One, she went wire to wire. The other one, she didn't quite like that mud at Saratoga. So you know what? We could forgive her on that one, I think. This horse has got a lot of talent. David Duggan, he excellent trainer, and his numbers are starting to reflect that. Earlier this year, his numbers did not reflect what type of trainer he is, which is he's a very good trainer. He gets them there. He gets them fit. So you should always look at him and always as a threat. But this horse is definitely probably a threat in this race, especially with that speed. Katie Davis, you know what? She does good. She does a really good job. I'm not going to knock her a bit. She rode this horse the first 3 times that it ran. Pratt took over last time. It was at Saratoga. People, all this stuff. The owners probably wanted a big name jockey. But I think Katie, she does an excellent job on this horse. So I think this horse is a dangerous horse in this race. Has the speed to steal it. So, in my opinion, is it for the win column? I'm going to still say no. I think it's on the bottom half of the exactas and for sure on the tries. But don't turn your head too much off of this horse because she could run wire to wire and try to steal it. The 3. Now the speed horse in here. This one has probably a little bit more speed in my opinion. A little bit more class in my opinion. This horse has been in the claim box how many times? I mean, geez, let's look at this. We got since 20 September of 23, claim 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times this horse has been claimed. So don't question this horse is this horse okay, everything all right with this horse? If everybody keeps on dipping in the pot to get this horse, that means the rumors are this horse is fit. It's nothing wrong with this horse. It's a good, solid horse. It picks up paychecks. Got tons of speed. The horse belongs in this type of race, even though the last time in the small stakes that the pumpkin pie won stakes, the horse just didn't throw in a good race that day. Just came up empty on that one. I'm going to say this is one of your major contenders here. I think this horse got a little bit more speed than the 2. But they're both the 2 and this 3. This 3 is definitely, they're both going to be going at it. Okay. So I like this horse more on the exactas. Maybe not for the win. A 3rd race off a layoff, looking for improvement. I have to agree with that as angle there. So yeah, I think it's a play, and you got to take a really good, solid look at it. And the horse is 7 to 2. The 4. Now this horse has got some of that what I call tactical speed. This horse, if no one goes lead, this horse could go to the front, really. But I don't see this horse doing that. This horse has more of a router speed, so I believe that this horse will sit back just a little bit. She will let that 2 and 3 go at it. Ness is the trainer. Ruben is the jockey. They team up a lot, especially at parks. But this horse is cutting back in distance. I love the cutback to 7. I love that angle. This horse, I love horses that show speed going up to a mile and the 16th, mile and 16th. And I love when they cut back to 7 furlongs and sometimes 6.5. Never to 6, 6.5 or 7. If they show that really good speed, was extremely close throughout the whole race, I love that angle comeback. And I think this horse is a major, super major player. And I'm going to say that this is my top pick in this race. And I'm going even further. This is my top pick of the day in the pick 5. This horse, I think, is going to be extremely tough to beat in this race. We'll look at the projected ratings early as 81, 82, and then a 98. Like I said, this horse doesn't need the lead. Doesn't probably quite have that speed as the 2 and 3. This horse will sit off of them, I believe, sitting 3rd, what we call the catbird seat, 3rd or 4th, right there, super close, and will close and get them halfway down the stretch, I think. The 5. This horse is another one that sits really close to horses here and, gives it a light kick. The question is this horse fast enough to stay with these horses? If you look at its class and everything, it's run pretty decent at small stakes, high allowance races. It could. I just don't know. David's a trainer again. He's got another horse in here. It's excellent. I'm going to have to take a seat back on this horse. I'm just not going to play it at all. I think this horse she's going up against it pretty good, especially against the 4, and the 2 and the 3 have tons of speed. So where is this horse going to be? I don't know. I think it's more like sitting 4th or 5th at best out of a 7-horse field. It's going to be tough for her to do some damage in my book. The 6, another one here that's probably another one that wants to sit closer, but this one's cutting back in distance. But now if we look at this horse's cut back, this horse is never close to him, going a mile and 16, mile and 8, a mile. Did better, set close. probably will like this 7 furlongs, because if you go back to 7 furlongs back down here at Aqueduct, this horse ran a stakes race, a nice stakes race, the New York Stallion Series, but it was a much higher stakes. Castellone, he rode this horse perfect, set this horse extremely close. Now, if she runs back to that, she's going to be very dangerous, but I still don't think she's got enough to beat the 4 overall, and I really question if she could actually beat the 2 or the 3. Okay. So for me, if I was going to do anything with this horse, it would be on the bottom side of my exotics, and that's where I put her. And the 7 is another speed horse. Will this horse has one thing to do, especially with the 2 and the 3 being much closer to the rail, and this one being on the outside, not extreme outside. 7 is not that bad, but when you got fast horses on the inside, this horse is going to have to gun and go. Now, so is this horse going to be stuck wide, gunning all the way? Probably. I see it actually 2 and 3 battling it head and head. This one actually sitting right there, probably a head or a neck behind them, but on the outside. And that's going to tire this horse out a lot. I think it's setting it up for the 4 100%. The 4 could just sit right behind all of those 3 of them. If all 3 go out there, doesn't need to push it as long as she stays close. That's what will make the difference in this. So I think if anything, if you're going to play this horse, it'd be on the bottom side of the exotics for me. And that's how I see that. Now, we're going to go back and we're going to check out what Race Lens thinks how this race is going to, pan out and all that stuff. So let's see what they are going to do here. Okay. Here we go. All right. Now, first of all, let's go and see how I did my settings for Aqueduct on the dirt. This is what I have my settings at for Aqueduct on the dirt. Speed at a 5. I did class at a 4. Form at a 5. Distance at a 4. Jockey and jockey trainer both at 3s. Pace at a 4. Trainer at a 4. The track at a 3. Angles at a 3. Track condition at a 3. That's what I set my angles for Aqueduct. This is what they come up with in this race. They have the 2, 3, did I say that? And the 7 out in front. Boom, boom, boom. Exactly the way I said it, they were going to have it early. The 4 sitting back there in 4th, right on their tails. Come around to the middle of the race. They have the 2, 3. They're seeing the 7 starting to drop back because the horse is going wide. The 4 is still sitting on the rail. Most likely is going to make a rail run. That's how I predict it. And at the end, they're saying the 4 will win at a 51%. I say the 4 will win is my best bet of the day. They say the 6 will be second at 20% chance, the 7 at 9%, the 3 at 6%, and the 5 at 5%. I see it as 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's how I see it. So, and then you want to see what show the odds, right? Let's see if what we got true odds. They have the 4 should be at 4 to 5, and you're getting 4 to 1. I have to agree. I would love to see 4 to 1. You're going to see me laughing all the way to the bank. I'm going to say it out here right now. I love the 4 at 4 to 1. 4 to 5, yeah. You got to take what they're going to give us, This horse will probably be pretty close to 4 to 5. I don't know if the horse will be favorite, though. I mean, you got a couple of horses that could steal some of the money. You got the 2, the 3, and even the 7. They're going to steal some of the money because they have speed, and which is all fine. So does the 4, but the 4 has, route speed a little bit. But this horse is cutting back. It's going to be perfect. I really do like the setup here. But, all said and done, I don't see it being a huge favorite. So I'm going to take my odds. I'm going to run and just be thankful. The 6, they're saying 7-2. You got 5-1. I think it's going to stay around 5-1 or even higher for that horse personally. So for me, I personally love the odds, especially if at 4-1. I will just flat out just love it. Okay. All right. Okay. So now we're going to go to the next race here at Aqueduct, and we're going to look at the what we got going here. The 8th race. It's another New York Stallion Series Stakes race there, and we'll analyze that and see what it comes up with. And here we go. We're going to do the 8th. Boom. All right. It's 7 furlongs. This is for the boys. We'll start with the 1 horse. This horse, last time out, ran a pretty even race, even though it started off 6, but it was only 3 lengths behind. Mid-pack, 2 1/4, 2 1/4, or 2 1/2, a third. Then finished up third and 4 lengths behind the change. Was the favorite, was a beaten favorite there. This horse has got some good talent. I think this horse could sit pretty close. The 7 furlongs probably does like it. Overall, I just think they said he stumbled at the start, and I didn't get to see the video on that horse. So they said he stumbled at the start. This horse has had some rest now since August. So, and the trainer gets, when they're off 2 to 6 months, he gets 15% win. He's 50% in the money. So he gets him ready. I think this horse has got some talent, major talent. I wouldn't be surprised this horse comes up and win. I would not be surprised at all. I think he's a major contender here. Dylan Davis is riding. He's been riding so good. I mean, the guy's been doing great. The last 10 days or so, he's got 27% wins. He's ROI is 129 and to the plus. And I mean, even if you go the last 30 days, he's 23%, and he's got a plus 18% ROI. It is just awesome. He does a great job. He's a great jockey. Probably underrated in a lot of times. He's right there as one of the tops, especially in New York. So as a major player, yes. And let's see what the angles say here. Beaten favorites, jockey switch, yeah. I don't think Ortiz rode him the last 2 times. This horse did great jobs with him. I think Davis is not going to miss a beat with it. So major player, and I would not be shocked if this horse gets up and wins. The 2 here. Last time out, kind of did a little bit of a nice closing. The time before that, did some decent closing again, but they were going a mile and 16th at those times, and even the time before that. Look, you're gonna have to go down pretty much till June of this year. Ran at 7 furlongs, didn't do much both times. This horse acts like it needs longer. Mile 16th, mile 8th. This is how that horse acts, and especially the last 2 times, even though it's done well, has closed very well, but now they're, shortening this horse up. This is a come from behind her, in my opinion. Going to be out of it in the beginning. He's going to be outstepped early. I think he's going to have too much ground to make up, even though it's Michael Maker is the trainer. You know how I feel about him. He's an excellent trainer. Definitely knows what he's doing, especially after he claims the horse. But for me, I think they're stretching it a little bit, not stretching out. I think they're stretching this horse's ability to do a serious come from behind, especially being close to the rail in the 2-hole. If this horse was on the outside a little bit more, maybe get a better position, but we'll have to make one big run, and he's going to have to hope for a speed duel out there. The number 3, another horse that's got some talent. Last time out didn't show much of that talent, but the time before that did very well. The time before that did very well. So when this horse got cut back to 7 furlongs at Saratoga, it was in the slop, and this horse did very well, set really close to the pace, took over about midway through the race and just took on. It just went on and on and on with it. So this horse is a true 7 furlong miler type of horse. Javier is aboard. That's a good plus. Has done well with this horse. Major player, yeah, but for me, it's more on the bottom of the exotics. But I wouldn't be super shocked. Let's just put it that way. I wouldn't be super shocked, because this horse met some big names in that Pennsylvania Derby. Sees the Gray, Stronghold. Come on, this horse was up against it, I think. And even though it was 10-1 odds, and that day, if I remember back correctly, I didn't think that horse was worth 10-1. I think it was more like a 25 or 30-1 shot for that race. I just thought he was outclassed, and he did show that he was outclassed. So for me, I'm just going to take a back seat. I would say at best the exotics. I would pick it the third or fourth. I think it has a heck of a shot hitting that part. The 4. A horse with some speed. This horse might be one of your leaders in this race. This horse is cutting back in distance last time out. This horse wanted nothing to do with that 1.125 miles. Nothing. So he just gave up. The time before that in a mile, he almost went wire to wire. So I think this horse is screaming that he wants to have the lead by himself. I don't know if he's going to get the lead by himself, but he is one of the speed horses in here. For me, I'm just going to take a seat back, and I'm just going to take a pass today on that horse, the number 4, in this race. The 5. Here's a horse that did pretty good. Sits really close to the pace. This one's the interesting horse. This might be close to the favorite, or at least co-favorite. I think this horse has got a tremendous amount of talent here. On this race, I think this horse is going to be in the perfect spot overall. So he could keep up with those sprinters. He doesn't have to have the lead. He'll sit real close, maybe 2.5 lengths off of him. This horse is going to make one big run. Kendrick's aboard. He's more known as to get the horses out of the gate really good and good with speed horses. So kind of like him being on this horse, because this horse needs to get out and get real close in the beginning, okay? So this horse has a shot. If this horse was within 2.5 lengths or better, coming around the turn for home, you guys better be watching out, because he'll be flying good, especially with Kendrick aboard. He'll make sure that horse gives everything it has, especially at the end of that race. So I think it's a major player for the win column, and you should look out. The 6. Here's one of them that has major speed, has won the last 2 times out. Looking for the hat trick today. I know that's hockey, but we're in a horse race. But hey, it's the hat trick, and this horse has been doing great. 6 furlongs, wins by 9. 6.5 furlongs, wins by 2.5 or 2.25. And he keeps on going up in class and doing these great things. All right, so now we're going 7 furlongs. I think this horse could get it. This horse is bred for that. Also, you got Rudy Rodriguez as a trainer. He's an excellent trainer. Everything about this horse, and I think it's going to be, look out. This horse could be the leader or co-leader on the lead. This one might be the one to catch, especially that 5 horse. This is the one this horse has got to catch. In my opinion, this is a major player. Like I said, now I have 3 major players in this race. 6-month layoff with a horse for the course. There you go. And the horse won last time as the favorite, which he did at even money. It's just slightly over even money. So I think this horse has got a major shot at this. So do not be shocked if this horse wins this race. But I've said that with 2 other horses, right? Because that's how tight I think it is. Those 3 horses are going to come at it at the end. I like it 6-5-1. I think the 3 will be coming at the late part of it, picking up the last pieces of the pie. But, we'll talk about the 7 here. This one really needs to pick it up a lot. This horse needs to even step down a class. I think this horse is over its head in this race. The horse has good talent for the 25, maybe 32,000 claiming. But I just don't know about this level and the horses that he's meeting with speed. The distance probably is right. I'll probably have to give him that. The distance probably right about this horse. But for me, I'm definitely taking a pass on this horse. We'll see how it goes. The 8. Last time out threw in a clunker, got bumped in the beginning of the race. So you could probably toss that one out. Time before that in high allowance has done very well, especially around this distance, 7 mile and 7 furlongs. Gotta like that. The horse could be a major player, but this one does come from behind also, just like that. The 3, come from behind. Will be picking it up and laying them down at the end. Could be at the end picking up some piece of the pie here. So I put this at the bottom of my exotics, but I think the 6, 5, and the 1 are the ones you really got to catch and beat. And that's how I see it. Now we'll go to and see what Race Lens, how they see it, coming out in the race and how they figure it to go. All right. 8th race. Okay. They see in the beginning of the race, the 4, 5, 8 really taking the lead, and the rest sitting really close. They're all going to sit pretty close overall, but I think the 3 is definitely going to be a little bit further back in the beginning. That's how I see it. See how they have it in the halfway point? They have the 3 almost dead last. They're all like 3, 2, 1 are all going to be back there. I don't know if the 3 and the 2 will be back there. I think they'll be a little bit closer up. They do like the 5 being up a little closer. At the end, they think the 5's got a 54% chance, the 3 at 18, then you go to 2 at 9, 6 at 7, and then the 8 at 3. I personally like the 6, and then the 5, 1, and 3 in this race. But that's how I see it. So then that's the races there. That's how I see those 2 races. We broke that down, and we're going to go and see how I'm going to play these races myself. We're going to try to hit a pick 5, of course. We'll see. I'll show you my ticket, and it's just under $200 there for that. I always try to keep it under 200 or less, of course, and I try. There's days, it doesn't quite happen that way. But here we go. It starts in the 5th race, the pick 5. We have the 12, 9, 5, 2 in that order. That's how I picked that race. I will go with trifecta with the 2 and 9 on top, with the 2, 9, 5, 4 in the second spot, and then the 12, 9, 5, 4, and then I threw in a 10 at the end in that third spot. The pick 5 will be all 5 of those horses. The 12, 9, 5, 4, 10. And then in the 6th race, the second leg, we're going to go 8, 3, 7, and the 1A. Of course, you get the 1 and the 1A with that. That's how I see that race exactly. So I'm taking all 4 of those. Then in that 7th race, I was talking so much about that 4. Well, I got to put up or shut up, right? So there it is. The 4 is a single. I'm putting a single in there. The 4 all by itself in that 3rd leg, which is the 7th race. The 8th race, the 4th leg will be the top 3 picks of my picks. The 6, 5, and 1. If you wanted to throw another one, you could probably throw in that 3, but I think that those 3 are pretty good. And then the last leg, the 9th race, I had to go 6 deep here. It's a maiden race. There's a couple horses that look a little bit better than others, but overall, you got some first-time starters, and you got some horses in there they're all 2-year-olds, so they're still learning the game. I like it. I have it 7, 6, 8, 11, 9, and 2. And you know what? You could probably even throw in a couple more. But in the 6th race, I am going with the 8, 3, 7, 1A, and I'm just going to do exactly what the 8 on top of that 3, 7. And then in the 7th race, doing 4, 3, 2, 1. The win on the 4, exacto 4 on top of the 3. I'm doing a daily double, 4 on top of the 6, 5, and do a pick 3. Do the 4 with the 6, 5, 1 to the all button. I'm hoping that last race produces a big shot. Hope I get past those first 2 legs. And when I get a big shot in that last leg, it might be a nice little pick 3 for me. The 9th race, I like the 7, 6, 8, and 11. Try is, of course, I'm going to throw the 7, 6 on top. Then I'm going 7, 6, 8, 11, 9. Then I'm going 7, 6, 8, 11, 9, 2. That's what I'm going to do there. But you can throw a couple more in there if you want to on that bottom part of that try, or even play a super if you want. That would make it really interesting, because I'm not just that I'm hoping. I'm saying that I really think it's got an excellent shot of, producing a price in that race. So with that all being said and done, let's go out there and get some winners. And until next time, see ya.